Dairy farmers from the Italian island of Sardinia have taken to dumping milk on the streets as a form of protest. Let's take a look. So there you have it. These farmers upset with milk prices and trying to keep their livelihood going are dumping this milk on the streets. You saw them dumping it over overpasses onto passing cars and really doing what they can to draw attention to this issue. Now, first and foremost, on one hand, you have to feel sorry for these folks. They're trying to make a living. They're doing, for many of them, what they've been doing for decades. And the same thing they've been doing for decades suddenly isn't working for them. They're not getting by the way they used to. And so these people are in a bit of a panic, obviously feeling really desperate that they need to do something. And so this is what they are doing. But this is an industry that's in decline, and that's really the bottom line. We see the rise of non-dairy alternatives, your plant milks, almond milk, cashew milk, soy milk, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Not only the milks, but the cheeses and the ice cream. On down the line, the alternatives are better all the time, or even better than dairy. I mean, frankly, a taste test side by side, I think that we're really at that point now. And another contributing factor to the decline of dairy is the increase in animal rights investigations, which expose what's going on in the dairy industry. Some of these really brutal truths that in the dairy industry that cows have to be forcibly impregnated, which should be an obvious biological fact, but we're so distant from really what's going on in these farms that people don't even know that fact, and that when these cows are born, they're immediately separated from their mothers. Often they're killed at a very young age, sometimes days old for the veal industry, because they're practically worthless, male calves, that is, in the dairy industry. So some of these brutal truths are really coming to light, not only because there's more investigations, but because we have more access to that information via social media, via Facebook, YouTube, etc. Independent media is really bringing these stories that the mainstream media would much more be inclined to ignore. And so as far as these farmers, when we have here is a dying industry, and the solution when you have a dying industry which has all of these problems isn't a plea for government or for industry or for somebody to step in and to prop up a dying industry, but rather to embrace the social change which is right here upon us, this rise of compassion for animals and the rise of so many alternatives. And I really think that's the direction we need to be going. But when we do so, it's important to encapsulate caring about those farmers and trying to empathize with them and do what we can for them, while also caring about the animals and the environment and bringing it all together and creating a better world for all of us.